Are we there yet? Oops, I didn't need to do that. Hey guys, we're live, and I just want to say, hey, hope everybody's having a great day. I did the video day before yesterday on the online course, and it was going along pretty well until I got to the end of the presentation, and I went to click on the window to see how many people had questions, and I didn't have the chat window open up. And I was like, dang. So I just went ahead and completed the video and posted it without the chat window open up, because the idea in the first place was to make sure that everybody got a chance to see it. And if there's anybody that has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them tonight, and even open up my course again so people can log on to it and log into the feed and see what it's about if you're interested. So right now I'm set up to do a radio show. Actually, it's an interview radio show on Hamilton Radio every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. That's what we decided. 1 o'clock Eastern time. And next week we're probably going to talk a little more about property tax and how it relates to the Airbnbs, because these people, the cities are controlling these Airbnbs and giving these families a really hard time, and it's terrible what they're doing. Some of these families use the Airbnb income to help them pay their mortgage and to feed their families, and all kinds of things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that so people will see more options that they have, because you have options. If you have courage to step up, you have options. And I'm going to show you what some of those options are. So in the last live feed, we talked about the online course, and we're talking a little bit about it today. I'm looking forward to helping you guys learn how to get this stuff done. I'm checking right now to make sure that I have my chat window open so that I can talk to people if people are here. And I'm going to try and set it up to do a live stream every Saturday night and every Monday night. And of course, I'll be in between, but I want to have those nights picked out so people can plan for them. And then I will also have what we're going to do. And you guys leave me messages either in the chat window or in the comment section down below, and let me know what subjects you'd like me to cover. But make sure that what you're asking me has to do with the non-conventional side of things, because I don't really spend a lot of time in the conventional side of the foreclosure situation, because it's all fraud and you can't connect the two. Because if you connect the two, then you get the poop from the fraud side on the other side. And, like we talked about before, once the arguing starts, then the judge gets to help them. And they have structured that in that manner for that purpose. So you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to where they want to argue. And if they do want to argue, you want to make sure that you have yourself in a position to appeal any decisions, because they're going to be violating the rules. And that's the thing that we need to keep in mind when we're attacking these guys. The number one problem, and I'm going to say this again, and you're probably going to hear me say it a whole bunch of times. The number one problem, in my opinion, when people are doing foreclosure defense on their own, pro se or pro per or whatever you want to call it, the number one problem is that people do not have the person that initiated the foreclosure against their property, the person that signed to initiate the foreclosure against their property. People do not have that person listed anywhere on their lawsuit. And the reason they don't is because most people believe that the lender is the one coming after you. And the lender is not the one that's coming after you. The lender did a charge off or a corporate charge off and sold the alleged debt. And that's my opinion based on the signatures. And if anybody wants to argue with me on that, I sure like to hear your argument on how you see this situation unfolding, because I help a lot of people on a private Facebook page, and being helping those people allows me an opportunity to get real-time feedback, and that real-time feedback allows me to make certain determinations. And once I make those determinations, I'm able to adjust the lawsuit package or add another document or whatever to nail those doors shut, so other people across the United States won't have to deal with the same BS when they file their lawsuit. So that's the beauty of the power of the group. And our Facebook page, our private Facebook page, also acts as a support group, and for people who have questions that have to do with the process that they've already been through. Most of the questions that are asked in the group I have to field because we just started this new program that we're doing, and we're just now moving along. And we have some people in our Facebook group that, like Chanel Maxwell in the Facebook group, she used the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit to actually stop the sale of her dad's house. And I think it was supposed to sell last month on the 6th. And it didn't sell last month, and it still hasn't sold this month. So she's still in court fighting. Everybody's all worried and want to know how many we won and all this stuff. You know what? It's more important to get your butt out there and give it a shot, because whether or not you end up in the place where you'd like to be, and it ain't winning to me, because in order people say winning, that's having the judge grant you everything. Okay, that ain't never going to happen, because the judge ain't going to grant you anything. Your job is to make sure that you get stuff on the record that you need to defend yourself to help you with your lawsuit, and to also set yourself up for your appeal at the gate. So you want to make sure that you're forcing the judge to have to appeal them violating the rules to allow the attorney to go through. Because in my program, you're gonna have attorney backed up against the wall pretty darn good. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be about what they said you did or what you didn't do or any of that. At the end of the day, it's going to be about you making sure that you protect yourself and you attack anybody that's interfering with your ability to get in court. That's what it's going to be about. And most people have no idea. In my opinion, the main reason why people lose in foreclosure court is because of the misconduct of the officers of the court. And that's including the judge, mostly, the clerk, mostly, and the attorney. Starting out with the attorney, because the attorney is the one that illegally signed to start this foreclosure against your property as a third-party debt collector. And that's what we address in our paperwork. So most people have no idea when they're being violated in court, or that they were violated in court, until after the 10-day pass that you have to. Most people never know, never figure it out at all. And it's complicated, no offense to those people, but it's complicated. But, when you focus on one thing, and that's the lack of jurisdiction, that allows the program to go a little more smoother, because you don't have all these other things that they want to throw in there to try and confuse the situation. You don't have to deal with all that. You just stick with the one thing, the challenge of jurisdiction. If you go in arguing the banking side of things, you're not going to have a chance. I see people here, but I don't see anybody in the chat window. I wonder if I'm doing everything correctly. Can you guys see me in the chat window? Well, I'm just going to keep going. I'm still learning how to do this. So my game plan is to help you learn when you're being violated in court and what you need to do about it. You know, everybody's all worried about all this other stuff, attorney stuff. If you don't know how to stop them from violating you in court or how to do something about it, then they're just going to be laughing at you the whole time they're throwing your stuff out the window. The challenge of the jurisdiction is like the only thing that I want to discuss. And in that jurisdictional challenge that you guys will be using who enroll in the course, that is a very powerful document. And they can't respond to it even by, they can't respond to it by a counter affidavit. So that's the problem right there. They ain't going to be able to. They ain't respond to it anyway, let alone by counter affidavit. So that document is going to be the lead document that online students are going to be using. Hey, I see somebody. Hey, Johnny Boy Rains. Great. I'm glad you see me because I messed up the day before yesterday really bad. I was like, when I got done with the video, I said, okay, let me see how many people are over here. And I didn't even open up the chat window. And that wasn't the only thing. If you guys were following me, you probably found out the video was like 3 hours long. Well, it took me a while to figure out how to end the stream. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm learning. I got no problem throwing it out there too, because once I get it down, the hell on wheels. So what state are you in, John Boy Rains? Are you in judicial or non-judicial foreclosure situation? We must be grabbing some snacks or something. Anyway, so that's going to be one of the goals in the online course. He's in Georgia. Okay, so I know that I get a lot of people calling me from Georgia. That's non-judicial, and they're a little dirty. But I'm just going to say New York is really dirty too. Yeah, Georgia's non-judicial, and they're a little dirty. Well, the lawsuit packages that I have on my website, I have a strategy for the non-judicial situation to block the eviction process, and not only block the process, but actually remove that process over to your title dispute. See, here's the deal: people don't realize when you get that unlawful detainer, which is the beginning of the eviction process. Okay, the eviction court can only make a judgment on immediate possession. They cannot make any kind of a judgment on a title dispute. So what we've done is when you file your lawsuit in federal court and the higher court, you're creating the title dispute that you need to control all that stuff down here. And that's what we do. And there's like 16, I think it's like 16 documents in the non-judicial lawsuit package. You have a document in there to challenge eviction court's jurisdiction. And then you have another document in there, it's a notice of removal to remove the case over to federal court. And when you do that, you attach a file stamp copy of that motion to challenge jurisdiction as an exhibit to your motion that you're going to be filing in federal court. And you ask them to add it to your case. And if they give you a hard time about it, you tell them, here's the deal. My legal team told me that immediate possession cannot be determined until the title dispute's been settled. And that usually takes care of it. And if state court has a problem with it, you can ask the people in federal court to give them a call and let them know that they're messing up. Because once you have it connected to, once you have anything filed in the higher court, the lower court's done. They don't like to admit that, but that's the way it is. And they try to keep on going, and that's why you have to do what you got to do. Hey, your dad, Grandpa One. What's up? What's up, buddy? So what state are you listening to us from? watching us from on this stream, your dead grandpa one. Are you facing judicial or non-judicial? So when you guys go to my website and you check out the judicial or the non-judicial package, when you see there's a bunch of documents in there, don't freak out, because the first document that you got to worry about filing is always, well, it's going to be the lawsuit document. If you're in the course, the online course, then the first document you're going to be filing is your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. And that's going to just blow them all up. Indiana, I think Indiana is judicial, but I'm not positive. Did you get served a petition, or did they serve you a notice of default, your dead grandpa one? So you guys in the online course, when you file your challenge, your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, that's going to blow their case all up. And John Boy Range is asking me a question. And when you file your lawsuit in federal court, you can add all of that stuff that you just filed in state court, blowing all that up. You can add that as evidence. You just have to turn it into an exhibit, and you add it to your lawsuit that you're filing in federal court as evidence to prove that the court should just go ahead and pay you the 5.5 million. I love my job. Yeah, John Boy Rains, he says the second mortgage is trying to foreclose on investment property. Can I use your package to stop that sale? Absolutely. You can, and this is what I tell people. You invest in my products. I tell people to keep them all in a binder, or everything in a file. Keep everything in a file. And when you work on something, open it up, copy and paste it, close that file back up, and keep it over here so that it's not altered. And then you can work on the file that you open up here to create the document that you need to do. And then that way you always have this document over here in your file that have not been altered. And in case you mess up or delete stuff and you can't find it again, which, you know, we never do that, right? You'll still have the original. And in John Boy Rain's case, if you got a second property that you need to be addressing situation with, then all you got to do is open it up. You know, you got a file for the first property, open it up and start a file for the second property. And I like to keep everything in a notebook binder so that I can open it up and look at stuff without actually having to pull it up on the computer. But I'm still kind of a little old school. I do store things on the computer under the name. So if I have a name or one name, and everything is there for that situation is under that one name, then that way you can just pull it up and have it all right there. But to me, it's easier to be able to grab the notebook and open it up, and I can look right at the documents or pull the documents right out of there and get the information off the back that I need. So that's, yeah, you can use that for other properties too, buddy. Absolutely. As long as you're in a non-judicial state, if that's what your situation is, yep, you can use all those documents for whatever you need. So your dead grandpa says he's good on the eviction process. Just dropped in to say, hey, thanks for dropping in. I'm sure you guys missed me the other day, because when I shut down, I saw I had like 21 people or something, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I didn't open the chat window. But I got it open today, so, and we're on. Hey, Ed. So Ed, was you the one that called me when I was on the radio station yesterday? I had somebody call me when I was on the radio station, but you know, the way we have that set up, I was in Kansas and they were in New Jersey, and so we're just doing it on the internet. So And I could barely hear him, but I wasn't sure. I was trying to listen to see if I could tell who it was. I wasn't sure if he was saying it was, if your name was Ed. I was wondering if you were the one that called in on the radio show yesterday. So I'm going to be on the radio. Okay, cool. He said he's purchasing his package this weekend. Now remember, you need to go in there and take a look at that main document for $5.5 million and review it. And if you have any questions, highlight them on your computer, and then we'll get on the phone and I'll go over all your questions at one time. And that'll be the most efficient use of our time. And that'll give you opportunity to make sure you understand everything before you start working on it. That way you don't have to go back and redo stuff and spend a lot of extra time doing things that over and over. So we've been working this program out as we go, and that's what we're doing right now. So. Okay, that wasn't you calling in. I know you. I think if I remember correctly, you told me you were a trucker. So I was just gonna make sure you wasn't dialing while you were driving. Okay, I'm just I'm just messing with you, Ed. You didn't know I was what? You didn't know? No, I don't. No, I don't have a radio station, Ed. I was invited to interview on the Hamilton radio, which is internet radio, so they're all over the place. And the owner of the station, his name is Gene, and he has been following me on YouTube. And he finally friended me on Facebook one day, and I looked down. It's like, he owns a radio station. Why do you want to be Why do you want to be in my group? So yeah, I let him in the group, and it's a good thing. So he's really impressed with what we're doing here, and he wants to help me reach more people. So their radio station reaches like 55 million people. He was telling me we have people in Czechoslovakia and Russia. And I was like, I don't think those people are going to help me, but if they watch my YouTube, they can. And he started laughing. So I'm just happy to be able to talk to more people. So we're going to talk this Wednesday a little bit about, well, a little more about the property tax situation and how it relates to these Airbnbs who are being thrown under the bus by the cities, gouging them for more money and trying to control their property. People don't realize that the property taxes is what gives these the city officials the misguided thinking that they have authority to control what you do with your property and all that. And it's just, it's just not true. If your deed was not registered in their office, they would not be able to do all the stuff that that they're doing to people. And so that's one of the things that we've been helping people become aware of. And actually, the property tax situation, I think, is one of the most looked at videos that are on my YouTube channel. So we're going to start doing a little more work with those and telling people about them and answering questions. People need to understand that what we're doing here is totally different than what people are used to. So you can't compare it to what everybody else is doing. Yeah, John Boy Rain says his current service is definitely a debt collector. Yep, they're all debt collectors. You'll find on your documents that the bank ain't signed nowhere. Hang on one second. Yep, the bank is not signed any place on anything. And when you add that attorney as the number one defendant, that creates a huge problem for their little program. And that's pretty much why we do that. You add the attorney as the number one defendant and the law firm as the second defendant and the last servicer, and that's pretty much it. And you cause some big problems for them. And you use those problems in your favor. One of the videos that I made talks about the fact that, when you do that, the attorney is not allowed to represent the law firm they're affiliated with. And because they can't represent a corporation the corporation can't go into court pro se. And when the other attorneys that they call in to help them find out that you're suing them for illegally foreclosing, illegally as a third-party debt collector, then it's a problem, because those attorneys know that they're doing the same crap. And the sanction motion that's in the package can be used if they did find another attorney. You hit them with that sanction motion and they would just be done. Yeah, we don't play around. So that's one of the things that you got to remember when people, are thinking about fighting. They get all nervous, and then they remember all the stuff they went through with the attorney, and they start freaking out. And I'll be telling them, look, we're not doing the same crap you did with your attorney, so you need to look at it in a different situation, in a different light, because we're not doing the same thing. MYX Capital. What's up, buddy? Spoke to me on the phone back in March. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm still learning how to run stuff. And I'm getting a little better at it. As you see, at least I got the chat window open today. I was on the day for yesterday, I think it was, and I was doing my little thing, and I got all done. So let me see how many people over here, and I didn't even have a chat window open up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to fire somebody, but I only have myself, so I guess I can't fire myself yet. Endorsements are super important. Yeah, I tell you, it's nice working with these guys from the radio station, because they're going to allow me to talk to more people and to reach more people without having to pay Google AdWords. So I appreciate you guys all jumping in here on the stream and leaving your comments. They're really important and help other people see that we got it going on here. And my goal is not to help you win. My goal is to help you get to stay in your house and put the people that's actually trying to throw you under the bus on the hot seat. And the winning part you're going to have to do on your own, because I'm not an attorney and I don't have time to do all that stuff. My job is to give you what you need, the tools and the coaching to get you on the path. And you'll find out federal court ain't trying to have no stinking trial. They ain't trying to have no trial. If you've been wrapped up in anything in federal court, actually any court, they ain't trying to have no trial because it costs too much money. And when you come to the table with my stuff, stick it in their face, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be like a money pit, because my goal is not to teach you how to go into court and have the judge rule on your stuff. My goal is to make the judge not want to rule on the stuff and make them not want you in court. Because if they can't control you, they're not going to want your butt in their court if they can't control you. And one of the things that, yes, MYX Capital says attorneys are crooks. So you know how to tell when the attorney's lying, right? It's when their mouth's moving. That's when you can tell. And yes, they are. And you know what? The reason why they don't help you is because their buddies are the ones that's trying to steal your property. And they can't go up against their buddies. So hell no, that'd be a problem. They'd get kicked out of their group and they wouldn't be able to steal people's property anymore. That would be a huge problem. That's one of the main reasons why they don't do anything. They don't care about, they stick with you as long as you got money to pay them. I had a lady tell me she went through $9,000, and when she got done, the attorney told her he don't know why she's fighting so hard. She needed to move out. And I looked at her and I said, I'm sure glad that didn't happen to me, because if the attorney told me that, I hope he was on the phone, because there's going to be a problem if I paid the attorney all that money to defend me, and in the end he's telling me I should just move out. He don't know why I'm fighting so hard to keep my property. I should just move out. No, that'd be a problem. I'd be headed to jail. Okay, so let's get off of that. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Attorneys aren't ready to help anybody, and that's the way the problem, the program structured. I always tell people, you got to do it yourself. You can screw up your own your own case yourself. You don't need to pay an attorney to screw up your case for you. And if you do it yourself, at least you know what's going on. And that's one of the big difference between what I'm trying to do here, what I'm doing here, and what, the other people are doing. What makes me different is I'm helping you learn. You have to take the ball and run with it. I'm not even blocking for you. Well, I kind of am with the information, but what they say, knowledge is power, but you have to spend the time reviewing the documents so that you understand them and looking up the words that you don't understand. And that way, because people don't realize when you go to court to file stuff, the clerk is messing with you. She's messing with you, or he is messing with you to see if you understand what you have. And a lot of times they'll take my stuff in the back room and they'll be back there and I get this real-time report. They'll be back there for a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then they'll come back with the supervisor. So 2 of them will come back. And then they'll start looking over your stuff and they'll start trying to figure out a way to pick it apart and send you back without filing it. And what I always tell people is there's a filing statute for each state. If you know what that filing statute is and you have it written down on your paper or have it written down on your little notepad thingy or something where you can pull it out and let them know that you know that, and the filing statute don't mention none of the stuff that they're talking about, you will have a chance to get your stuff through without much ado. If they give you a hard time, usually what I ask, first off, I whip out my little notepad. The notepad the Popo uses when he had to return to somebody's house a second time, and they whip out the little notepad and they start asking questions and writing down the answers to the questions. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Write their names down. Who the clerk supervisor, and then I would ask them, and you want to be specific, you want to ask them, do you as a clerk have the authority to make a legal determination on my paperwork? And then wait for an answer. And most of the time they'll just take your stuff and go file it. I had one guy who went, and I think he was in Georgia, and he went to file his stuff and they gave him a hard time. And he usually what I tell people to do is to take your stuff in a folder or a notebook binder or something and just do one document at a time, as opposed to handing her everything you want to file. Because in some cases, you want to get this stuff filed in an order that you need to have it filed in to protect you and get a job done that the strategy is supposed to get done. So I would just give them one document at a time. And when they bring that back, oh, by the way, I have this other document. Like, for instance, if you're going to file the restraining order at the same time you file the lawsuit, then you want to keep the restraining order in your package until they bring the lawsuit back to you. And then when you get your case number, you just handwrite that. Oh, they hate that too. You handwrite it on the lawsuit paperwork on the restraining order, and then you hand that to them to go file. And if you're going to file your sanction motion, then you want to wait till you get everything else filed before you stick that in their face, because that's really going to piss them off when you file a motion for sanctions against an attorney because they didn't do a reasonable pre-filing investigation. And the sanction motion, you're asking for $3.5 million or 5.5. I don't know. You can ask whatever you want in a sanction motion. Well, that's what we do, and that sanction motion takes care of that. So you guys got to remember, when you're in my program, we're not doing things the way that you're used to doing things. We do things a little bit different, and you'll see that when you review the videos. And also want you guys, if you invest in the program after you review the documents or feel like what I'm saying has some weight, leave me a review and let other people know how you feel and what you think. So, because what I'm doing, no one's doing it. And I think my YouTube channel is the only one that I've seen that actually offers free information to help people. And that free information, if you are proficient at putting that information on paper and using it for you, then there you go. If you need help, we have the websites, we have the online course that we put together. So we have options for everybody. I say that, and I mean it. We do. We have options for everybody. You just have to be willing to do whatever it takes. I'm reading Max S. Capital, God, and you're the man, and we the people trust in God, and it is for citizens only. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. He's got some nice comments for me there. I'm sure you guys can probably see them too. Um, I try to do what I do. I enjoy my job. I've been through what you guys are facing, and they treated me like I was stupid, and it pretty much pissed me off. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. So this is my therapy. Teaching people how to kick attorneys' butts is my therapy for what they put me through, and I enjoy my job. And if you work with me, I take it very serious. And apparently, I have a problem if you call me and challenge me on something I have in my document and tell me that your attorney friends told you something other was the fact. I don't mind if you challenge me, period, because you think something or whatever. But when you tell me you're challenging me because your attorney friend said something, I get a little pissed off about that. And I'm trying to work with it, but you know, I'm like, you either in or you out. If you think your attorney friends can help you, then you need to be over there having them help you. If you want to go a non-conventional way, then you can't be listening to crap they say because you already know when their mouth's moving. I'm waiting for someone to post in the chat window they are lying. When their mouth's moving, okay, I'm gonna post it. They're lying. There you go. Okay. Oh. Someone posted a little picture of a little tiny mouse. Okay. So did you see the online course? You want to take a look at it again? I don't know. I think I can do this. Maybe. How do I get back to the chat window? Let's see if I can get back to the chat window. Um, okay. This is not working out. I'm not sure how to get back over to the Zoom studio where everything is that I can control the share window at. So I still got a little bit of work to do here. Yep, still got a little bit of work to do on that. So um, I need to play around with that to figure out how to get over to the chat window. You know what I'll do? I can do this. Yeah, we're getting fancy now. Let me see. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to post the video from the day before yesterday in here so you guys can take a look at the online course. That's the best I can do right now. At least I can get that done. So you guys click on that and take a look at the online course. And I'm going to, so what is today? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm going to be back on tomorrow night late like this. So You guys check out the course on the videos that I have posted in the chat window. And if you have any questions, you can email me at winincourts1@gmail.com. Email me your question, and then I'll take a look at it before I start the feed and get the answer, figure out what the answer is or whatever, and we can talk a little more about this tomorrow. I'm thinking my wife's going to be making me work tomorrow, so I'm thinking late, probably around 10 or something like that, like right before bedtime works out. That way everybody's settled down and can come and join us. So you guys check out the video and let me know what you think. If there's something, that you think that I should put in my course, please let me know. But remember, it's on the non-conventional side. And they want to hear nothing about the conventional stuff. On the non-conventional side, if there's something that you think I need to add to it, okay, really, I will listen to either way, because someone might have a great idea that I need to. VS Infinity, thanks for being the best foreclosure coach I know. Oh, thank you. I don't play around. Yeah, I've been through what you guys are facing, and so I know how humiliating it is. And this is my therapy for what they put me through, is teaching others. And that's the best payback, teaching others all over the United States. And with my online course now, I'm hoping that a lot of people sign up for it. It's going to be well worth the investment. You will have access to it. I don't know, I don't think there's any time frame that you can't access the material. And I would also advise that you download the stuff and save it in a file so that you can use it if you need to use it on like property later or whatever, or if you have a family member in trouble. Um, no, the email that I use, if you've been using an email that's getting to me, that's the same email. They just made it fancy with me with my name in the front of it, but I use the winincourts1@gmail.com because that's the base email. And I don't have to worry about, like, for instance, if I get tired of paying these people to have my name in the front of it, then I still have I still have my actual email address out there that everybody can use. And that's the one that I remember anyway. So, but they're both, who asked that question? Someone asked that question about the email. Uh, Johnny Boy Rains. Yeah, so they're both the same. But I used the winincourts1@gmail.com. That's the actual base email. And then the other email is just a fancy one that they put on there to make me look cool. So you can, either one will get to me. Thank you, MYX Capital. So I'm going to say good night so I can get some other things done. And you guys review the online course and let me know what you'd like to hear me cover in my online feed, because I want to be talking about the things that are important to you guys. I mean, I hope I am, but I know there's some things that I don't think about that you guys are going through. I went through this some years back, 10 or 12 years ago. So things have changed considerably now, especially with all this stuff going on with this coronavirus and everything. So when the coronavirus started, I lowered my lawsuit packages from $850 down to $500 because I knew what was going to end up. I knew where we were going to end up, which is where we're at now. So I'm looking forward to being able to help people, and even so you guys have people help have your friends subscribe to my channel. I need to get 1,000 subscribers, and I need 4,000 hours of watch time to qualify to host ads on my site. And once I qualify to host ads on my site, they'll generate a ton of income that I'll be able to use to hire people to help. I'll be able to lower the prices of my lawsuit packages. So any family should be able to afford it if they're struggling with this situation. But I need to qualify to host those ads and get my foot in the door that way. And then we can start looking at pissing off more attorneys. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow late. So have a great evening. And I think I figured out how to end the stream now. Yep, I can end it now, so it's not going to roll for another 2 hours. So I know you guys are going to be checking me, right? Good night.